Lesson 17. I see no neutral things. This idea is another step in the direction of identifying cause and effect as it really operates in the world. You see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. It is always the thought that comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it is the other way around. This is not the way the world thinks, but you must learn that it is the way you think. If it were not so, perception would have no cause, and would itself be the cause of reality. In view of its highly variable nature, this is hardly likely. In applying today's idea, say to yourself with eyes open, I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Then look about you, resting your glance on each thing you note long enough to say, I do not see a neutral because my thoughts about are not neutral. For example, you might say, I do not see a neutral wall because my thoughts about walls are not neutral. I do not see a neutral body because my thoughts about bodies are not neutral. As usual, it is essential to make no distinctions between what you believe to be animate or inanimate, pleasant or unpleasant. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous. That is because you are unaware as yet of any thought that is really true and therefore really happy. 3 or 4 specific practice periods are recommended, and no less than 3 are required for maximum benefit, even if you experience resistance. However, if you do, the length of the practice period may be reduced to less than the minute or so that is otherwise recommended. I see no neutral things. So everything around us is infused with the meaning we bring to it. That's part of our power, actually, that we can ascribe meaning to all things. It's pretty cool when you get it. We are in control of the meaning of all things because we are in control of the type of thoughts that we think. This allows us to understand better the power that we have and that we can transform anything with that power. This lesson helps us understand and recognize the preconceived notions, the past associations, the interpretations, the fantasies and worries and memories that we have, that we give meaning to things in the present moment, and to then be able to take 100% responsibility as a result for the thoughts that we are bringing into everything and putting on all things. The transformative power that we have is by thinking loving thoughts, staying present, and thinking what is good, beautiful, and holy, the Course says, and to let that lead, to let love lead in the world, and to let love be inscribed upon all things by our minds. That is the transformative creative power that we have. This lesson becomes really important, as with the last lesson about no neutral thoughts, no idle thoughts. I see no neutral things because the thoughts I think that weren't neutral I have ascribed meaning to all things based on those thoughts. This gets really great as a practical tool in relationships. Its practicality there is invaluable. You will be able to see those relationships transform just based on having a different perception of what's going on, accessing higher wisdom and guidance based on thinking differently, letting love lead instead of guilt, judgment, blame, all of that, past associations, etc. But once again, these lessons are teaching us how to do these exercises. We're training our perceptual muscles. We're training our spiritual senses to be awakened. And if we can do it with these objects that have no emotionally charged backing or meaning behind them, then eventually we get it down, we get the routine down, we build the habit, we build the muscle. Eventually we'll be able to use it as a tool in our relationships as well, where there is probably emotionally backed meaning. So remember, There are no neutral thoughts. There are no idle thoughts. In today's lesson, I see no neutral things because of the thoughts I think that have imbued meaning, biased meaning upon it. So if there's nothing neutral, as the miracle worker, we can write love upon it. And that is our job in the world, to rewrite everything in love. I'll see you tomorrow.